Billy's right. Bud and Judy Kelly, who live right up the street. I coached high school athletics here at Medford back in the early 90s, high school football and softball. I was a permanent sub up at the Vogue, and a lot of fun memories. Many friends who have been friends for a lifetime now. But that's how I met my wife Nancy, who grew right up here in the street on Badger Road. And so I've had Medford Blue and White connected with me in India for a long, long time. And Buddy reminds me of that every time he sees me. But there are a lot of other people here, elected officials, volunteers, people who are such an important part of this community. And for me, it's really just a personal privilege and honor to come up here in support of one of my closest friends, George Scarpelli. I've known George for that long. I first got to know him because myself and Harry Marchetti and George worked together, coaching sports here in the city, volunteering time, but I got to see George from afar, how he engaged people, how he saw the promise in young student athletes, or took his time to spend a little extra time and care with someone who was in need, a family or a young person, to give them advice. So as the years went along, we stayed somewhat in touch, stayed to be friends. We had a lot of close mutual friends. I had the opportunity to steal George from Medford and bring him over to Somerville, and I did. So it was one of my best moves I ever did, because George has had, like he has had in Medford, a tremendous impact on people. Well, I've been mayor of the city of Somerville for 12 years. I've been an alderman for 20 years in elected office. And I want to thank Bill for the accolades about what the hard infrastructure and development we're building in the city. But it's people that make cities great. It's not the hard stuff we build, it's the social progress of our city. It's how vested we are in each other's lives. Because if we're building all the nice buildings and roads and infrastructure, that's great, but if people don't have an opportunity to succeed, if a young person can't attend your schools and succeed and achieve like anybody else, or if a family has a hard time buying a home or staying in a community, if a small business can't start off and be part of that dream in your community, your neighborhoods, then we're really not succeeding. I've always admired George Scarpelli because he knew that in order for a school system, a city, for a neighborhood to thrive, a community to be truly a community, everyone had to have that opportunity. I've seen him in Somerville like I saw him in Medford, coaching, being a mentor to young men and women. In our rec department, he is revered and loved by families throughout the city like he is here, because he takes the time out, much of it without any accolade and unheralded, to see how people are doing. He volunteers his time. If someone's in need, I hear about it, because George is knocking at my door saying, we really have to do something for this family. I mean, this just can't remain as it is. I've seen him taking an important interest in every young athlete's life. He's got the opportunity to stay in touch with them, coaching soccer at Somerville High School or in all our youth sports. If we had to bring every young athlete between Medford and Somerville and fill this room, we could fill it 20 times, who could speak of the positive impact George Scarpelli has had on their lives. And this is what I admire about the man. It's the person. I think, leadership, you don't get elected into leadership. These are attributes that are revealed through politics. Politics doesn't build leadership, it reveals leadership. And what Medford needs is much like what Somerville needs and continues to need, is we need people who can come together to work collaboratively to move the community forward. So it doesn't matter whether you're a few miles down the road this way or here. Medford and Somerville are very much alike. Very much alike. We all want the best for our residents. We want to be exceptional places to live, to work, to play, to raise a family. We want our schools to be exceptional. We want our neighborhood districts to be thriving, filled with sidewalk life. We want people to choose our communities first and never to think twice about having to stay there. To make that investment, we want to make an investment in each other's life. I've always admired George Scarpelli because he's always seen this. He's always seen this in everyone. As much as I, and my administration, has received so many accolades, I tell you, I still seek the advice of good friends like George, because it's those personal attributes, his compassion for his fellow human being, his commitment to his community and to his family, his caring, and his ability to lead and work with everyone from every background, no matter what their opinion is. I think if Washington
If more people in Washington had those attributes, wouldn't you think we'd be getting more things done in this country? We had a lot more people like George Scarpelli in office in the state, in Washington, D.C.
I think